So guys, Geforce Now just had a massive announcement. The new 4080 tier is set to launch at the end of this month. And guys, we are just seeing things happening in the cloud gaming space tech-wise that I just did not think was possible this quickly. And let's just get straight into it. This new 4080 tier will now be called the Ultimate Membership, and it replaces the old 3080 tier. And this is coming on the heels of the new 4000 series GPUs just starting to make their way onto consumers via desktops, and there's going to be new laptops that will also be launching these new cards. But for Geforce Now, these 4080 super pods, which is what the housing is that powers our cloud gaming, will deliver 64 teraflops, which, if I'm going to be honest with you guys, and I don't really know how to qualify what that means, but for us simpletons, what that really means is that you can expect at least about 5 times more power than that of an Xbox Series X, about 1.75 of the previous 3080 super pods that we're currently using right now to power our cloud gaming, which I have to say, man, that is just incredible, because the 3080 tier was the best performance you can get today in cloud gaming. So the fact that just pretty much a year later we're about to see it improved even further, to me is just nuts. But more on that in a second. Now, one thing that's also coming with the 4080 tier is being able to stream 240 frames per second. This is an increase from the previous 120 FPS that you could get with the 3080 tier, and guys, I can't explain to you enough how big that is for cloud gaming. It's just massive. Also coming with the new tier is full-on ray tracing, so hopefully that means we'll get better performing ray tracing, and we'll be seeing DLSS 3, which is the AI tech that increases performance in games even further. And really, just to put it simple, it just makes everything look prettier and smoother, and it's just awesome. We'll also be seeing latency below 40 milliseconds with NVIDIA Reflex, which really makes this the fastest experience that you can have in cloud gaming. And apparently this is even quicker than you playing locally with a console in console gaming. I think an example that I saw that was used is an Xbox Series X running at 60 FPS would be about maybe around 90 milliseconds. So with this, you're going to get half of that, which, like, wow, dude. Now, of course, you can still expect that 4K resolution, but the big leap here is going to be that 240 frames per second. And right now, other major competitors like Luna are really nowhere near this type of performance with this tier. Finally, what does this mean for pricing? Well, I think the biggest shocker of all of this is that if you currently have the 3080 tier, you'll just be upgraded to this at no cost. And this ultimate tier with the 4080 will be $19.99 per month, which is the current price of the highest tier right now. So again, no price increase, and I think this is a pretty big upgrade. And if you're somebody who's interested in this, well, there you go, it's at $19.99. So I mean, freaking awesome, dude. Kudos to NVIDIA right here, because they could have increased the price and they didn't. And the very last thing that I will say is that this will be available in North America and Europe later this January, but not everyone will get it right away. They're going to be rolling it out to the rest of the data centers in the months ahead. So this might launch in your country, but it might not be available right away, so you'll have to kind of stay tuned and just watch out for that. Okay guys, so we have lots of stuff to talk about here, but I do have like one gripe with all this. According to NVIDIA today, the priority memberships are going to remain the same price, and this is the standard tier that I'm guessing most paid customers are at, but there is no upgrade here for this tier, and I don't even remember the last time this thing I don't think it's ever been upgraded. So no announcement or changes at all with the priority tier, and it just made me wonder, wouldn't it have been awesome to see this tier get like the 3080 tier that we have right now, and those who use that get an upgrade themselves? Now, my guess is that the current tier is so good and currently the best cloud gaming performer, and I'm talking about the 3080 tier, that upgrading to this new one could be overkill. And so there wouldn't be an incentive for people to jump from that 3080 to get this new 4080. So I think they're kind of holding back a little bit, and I do hope we see a rollout and improvements for that base tier, because if I were to guess, the majority of people are using that one, or at least the free tier, and I would like to see even the free tier get an upgrade. And on top of that, the base tier, I would say, isn't the best right now. Stadia, that's about to shut down, and Amazon Luna, to me, are much better performers than that base tier that NVIDIA Geforce Now has. But guys, overall, this is just insane news for a few reasons. One, this was an already incredible performer and more than anyone could have asked for with the 3080 tier. It is pretty much like local gaming in the cloud at this point. That's how good it is. The fact that this is getting upgraded at all even further and will perform better than local gaming for probably the majority of gamers is just massive. Another thing that I have to point out, and I feel like this is kind of like the elephant in the room, is that this just kind of shows commitment to cloud gaming from Nvidia, almost like a doubling down of sorts. Stadia is about to close here in just a few weeks at the time of this video, and Amazon Luna is just kind of going through a restructuring. They're losing games left and right. And for me, there's just a lot of question marks there. And I can even go further on more obscure cloud gaming services like Boosteroid and Shadow and list out all their problems and questions, but you don't have to do that with Geforce Now. You don't have to question their commitment. For me, this pretty much cements their place, that they've taken the top place in performance with cloud gaming. Not only that, but maybe even 3 to 4 times more than the next competitor, and that they are a force. And it certainly feels like you just don't have to worry at all with Nvidia and their commitment. And then when you look at Geforce Now as a whole and their business model, you pretty much own your games from Steam and Epic. So if something did happen, you really don't technically have to worry. Right now, cloud gaming is just kind of entering in this really weird space, this really weird period where I feel like it's just taking a step back. But with stuff like this, these announcements from Nvidia, it really shows that they're not taking a step back, they're taking a step forward. And I mean, this new 4080 tier with 240 FPS will just make your gaming feel as natively as it can get. DLSS 3 mixed with ray tracing will also give you pretty much the best gaming visuals you can see today, and they aren't even charging an upcharge for this. They're not raising the price. So for me, this is just all a big W from Nvidia at times when others are just going backwards and they're giving you questions and you're just wondering. With that, I'm curious how many of you guys actually will care about this with Geforce Now and this new tier. Will you guys use it, or will you guys just like not care at all? Because it really does feel like it's coming at a great time with cloud gamers who are displaced from Stadia. Then the fact that physical graphics cards themselves are going to be scalped to death and very unaffordable. Don't think that this isn't on purpose to have this ready right away at this time. Nvidia is going to get more gamers who can't afford new GPUs and the ones who are looking for a cloud gaming solution at home. And let me know down below, are you guys going to purchase this? Are you excited about this, or do you not care? Or are you somebody that's actually going to try this instead of actually buying a graphics card? I'm very curious. So as I said, guys, I can't wait to test this out. Make sure you are following this channel, and man, this is going to be a fun year in cloud gaming.